Hello there, folks, and welcome to the stream. My name is Mike D'Angelo, aka That Tellest Guy. We are going to be talking Tellest today. It's very likely going to be a quick one because I kind of created a PowerPoint presentation that is going to be the focus of our chat today, and it doesn't go too long. I'll certainly stick around so that we can chat about things afterwards if anybody has any questions about what we're looking at. But the other reason that it's probably going to be a quick one is because I'm looking at the temperature gauge on my fan, and it is 98 degrees in this room right now. So I fear that if I go any longer than this presentation, my brain is going to start to melt, and I won't be able to produce any cognizant forms of thought anymore. So what we're going to do is just jump right into our little project today. We are actually looking at the heroes of Tellest for the first time ever. We are going to be looking at the 9. These are historically some of our most important adventurers in the world of Tellest, and they've been around a long time, but with the timeline kind of twisting, this presentation is going to give you a little bit more information about how they are in this new version of the world and things like that. So let's dive right in. So these are your 9. We have Adelia Cregan, Anson Physis, Alicia Main, Christopher Linus, Luca Cregan, David Garris, Kelvin Dracos, Hoagland Crescentshire, and Dirk. We've seen a couple of these people a few times in some of the other projects that I've shown off. In a couple of these cases, we haven't spent as much time with some of these people as I would have liked to. It's just one of those things where Tellest is such a big world that I can't spend time with everybody. We know definitively that Adelia Cregan and Kelvin Dracos have had a lot of time spent with their worlds because they have multiple books in each of their cases. Luca is kind of like the evolution of Chaos, and he was our legacy flagship character. And then all these other characters that you see, they had a chance to kind of shine in his story a little bit here and there. But going forward, we're going to be bringing to life new stories for them where they can shine even more. So let's dive in a little bit. We'll go one hero at a time. I'm just going to read off the screen because I just wrote this literally within the last hour, so I feel like it only makes sense to do things that way. So first up, we've got Adelia Cregan, who, as you'll know, is the star of her brand new book, Wild Magic. We just finished her trilogy. It was a long time in the making. I'm excited as anything for her to be able to come out into the world and become the new flagship character for Tellest. Adelia Cregan, an aspiring sorceress, is the only known person on Tellest who is aware of the previous timeline. She uses this knowledge to help guide her allies toward a better world. Adelia's adventures begin when she meets Gaston Camlin, a renowned sage from a growing city called Forsythia. He believes that she has the power to call on her ancestors' magical talent and an innate connection to the arcane. There's some misspellings in here. Like I said, I put all this together in a few minutes right before this, but later, Adelia is introduced to Lucinda, a master of transformative magic. Lucinda has a very unique teaching style, and she gets into mischief more than the young girl she is assigned to teach. She helps Adelia understand the depths of her control over sorcery. Giving it the Gwenpool treatment, what are you talking about? When Gaston employs a scholar to help dig up information about Adelia, he learns that an ancestor of hers disappeared on the Ocalacho Islands decades before. Together with Gaston, Lucinda, and her trusty cat Merlin, Adelia goes to learn more about Magda. And that's where we leave Adelia in Wild Magic. So we'll move on to her brother Luca next. Luca Cregan, brother to Adelia, is a scholar and a treasure hunter. With his talent for sensing magic in people, places, and items, he has uncovered some of Tellest's greatest mysteries. Luca is always on the lookout for interesting parts of Tellest's history, but he's also served at the behest of some of its greatest heroes, including Kelvin Dracos, the Prince of Argos. Together with friends that he's made along the way, Luca has found some of the greatest relics and missing knowledge thought lost to time forever. It is because of Luca's powers that he and 8 other heroes are able to uncover the mystery of the ruins of a tremendous castle town called Cathca, and together they find a wondrous treasure. And we'll move on to Anson next. Anson Physis, one of the 9. He ventured to the ruins of Cathca with Luca, Adelia, and the 6 other champions, who unveiled ancient mysteries. Sadly, he was cursed then and no longer speaks. I will pause just for a second to talk to you, Sean. I mean, it could be that same as my brain melting. It could be melting my connection, something like that. We'll see how this turns out after I put it all together and stream it, or I should say have the video on demand. Though he no longer has the ability to sing his songs, he still excels in the use of all sorts of beautiful instruments, from lutes to lyres and more. He plays in various taverns throughout the lands. Sadly, if he does speak, a terrible sound emits from behind his lips. Likened to spiders hissing endlessly in people's ears, it has been known to temporarily drive people mad to hear his new words. And our next hero is David Garris. David Garris is one of Luca Cregan's longtime friends. In their youth, the two sparred at Adelathus Coliseum. Nowadays, David is a champion paladin for the city, and is widely renowned. David has quested far and wide, sometimes with Luca and sometimes on his own, but it's always for the betterment of his home. I have to turn the light on in my room real quick. Sorry, got flies buzzing in my face. One with the gods and the temple, David is sure of his faith, and he has carried it into battle against the enemies who threatened his home in the past. Alicia Main is practically royalty in Adelatha. The daughter of Duke Elton, she has served as an ambassador to neighboring cities. She also chose to learn magic from the city's Draco Sage. Interestingly, Alicia has learned over time how to cast spells beyond what Andrakidis has taught her. She is predominantly gifted in both clerical and fire magics. Though Duke Elton Main treasures his daughter dearly, he knows better than most that nothing quite has the power to sway her adventurous spirit, which has brought her further fame and glory. Kelvin Dracos is the deposed Prince of Argos on the island of Ippius. His mentor, Icarus Calatuil, encouraged him to take his skills to mainland Draconis, knowing he could do great things. Kelvin's training began much earlier, however, as he served as an apprentice and protege to a vigilante hero from Argos, known as the Silver Serpent. Since then, he's trained with some of the best teachers, warriors, scholars, and rangers, and earned himself the distinction of being one of Tellest's greatest heroes. He's also made friends of many different people of the world, from elves and dwarves and gnomes to Avarians, gremlins, and even fearsome trolls. Christopher Linus was brought up in a cult-like religious sect, which led to an angry, unstable upbringing. For a while, he lived in solitude, fighting to soothe the fury in his soul. Away from most people, he was able to find techniques that allowed him to calm himself, and to channel otherwise dangerous rage into power he could use. The allies that he's found along the way have learned how best to lean on Christopher's talents. While he is a cool and collected fighter, his dark side also has its uses. Hokeland Crescentshire hails from the dangerous desert city of Foster Villa, where the winds are enough to kill those who don't pay them heed. Even if the winds don't kill you, the skullduggery within Foster Villa can be troublesome indeed. Hokeland has become a tremendous force of good in his city, even if his methods can sometimes seem a little bleak. Hokeland also has a trick up his sleeve. He can see the world through the eyes of those he interacts with. In doing so, however, he loses the ability to see through his own eyes. And our last hero of the 9, the werewolf Dirk once feared what people would do if they knew of his lycanthropy. However, as a member of the 9, he is respected in Adelatha and the surrounding area. The oldest of the group, Dirk is an abundant source of wisdom. He also knows his way around weapons, and has the ability to blend into the wilderness in ways that don't arouse suspicion. Dirk is perhaps closest with Luca Cregan. The two have become inseparable over time, with Dirk often claiming to be the young scholar's guardian. They've undergone many quests together and uncovered many mysteries of the world. And like I said, that's pretty much it. That's today's episode. It was something that I put together really quick. I could talk about these characters for ages and ages and ages, but with the time that I had to prepare for this episode, that's as much as I wanted to talk about without giving too much away from all their stories. But I'll stick around for a little bit if anyone wants to hear any more details about any of these characters. I'll try and toe the line between some information about them and their stories without, getting too far into spoiler territory. Sean, I'll respond to you. Yes, the doggies did want... Sorry, I'm talking to Rihanna real quick. The doggies downstairs were ambivalent about making sure that I wasn't able to play around with the PowerPoint presentation. Sean, the skullduggery that happens in Foster Villa is due to a group called the Syndicate. They ended up causing a ruckus that only Hokeland was able to really solve. In the original timeline, Luca happened to be there while Hokeland needed help, and together they kind of took care of whatever issues there were. But in this new timeline, Hokeland had to take care of it on his own, and he managed to pull things off. And thank you for saying it looks good. Taking a little bit of an H2O break. I'm going to hang out for another couple minutes, and then very likely that I'm just going to head downstairs, and we'll go into we'll go into a little bit more Starfield stuff like that, and just see what we can pull together. All right, they're going gray. That's our 20-second warning, so to speak. Now, when you say what's next, Captain, do you mean what's next for me tonight, or what's next for the Talking Tellest next week, or whatever it is? Well, so I like to get spoilers, so I already know what I'm heading towards in Starfield. I'm going to try and do a little bit of sensor readings on the planet that I'm on, and then I'm going to try and see how far I can get into the main storyline, and see if I can show other people what I know so that I don't spoil it ahead of time. Well, I'll tell you what, let's get down there. So let's go to our closing the show. Folks, I wanted to thank you for watching my short stream today. On the screen now, you should see all the places that you can find Tellest and That's Entertainment content. To find anything out about the Tellest Fantasy Universe, you can go to Tellest.com. For the battle maps that my brother and I create, you can go to Patreon.com/Tellest. To see my streams live, be sure to check me out here on Twitch.tv/ThatTellestGuy. To see all the streams I've ever done for maps and Talking Tellest, you can check out my YouTube channel at youtube.com/@WorldOfTellest. For our video game related content, you can go to thatentertains.com or the That's Entertainment YouTube, youtube.com/@that'sentertainmentgames. And to find all of our awesome merchandise, including high quality mouse pads, handcrafted magic wands, battle maps, posters, and more, head to our shop at etsy.com/shop/Tellest. Again, thank you guys for paying attention to me for the 16 or so minutes that I was running this little special Talking Tellest in the 98-degree heat up here. I feel like we're starting to head towards cooler days, in which case a lot of these will be a little bit lengthier, and we'll be able to talk about things a little bit more. I have a feeling the rest of this week is going to be kind of aggressively hot as well, so our maps might be a little bit quick too, but yeah, we'll leave it at that for now. Rihanna, I would like a beverage. Thank you very much. And I will be on Starfield in between 5 and 10 minutes. Thank you guys again. Talk to you soon.